Now the weekend is finally upon us, and because it is end month, well, let's just say that it is going to be a long-ass holiday. Long-ass weekend for some of us. But hey, welcome back to yet another episode of Watu Gaming News, your weekly breakdown of the hottest and freshest in gaming news. And by the way, if you're not already a member on our official website, be sure to sign up over at WWG.site, where we post our weekly news episodes, controversial takes, game reviews, and even host tournaments. So if you're a tournament organizer, be sure to check out the tournament page. And of course, if you're feeling chatty, you can comment or create a discussion topic on the forum page, or even leave a comment on what you think about today's news episode. And for our first story of the day, you heard it right. The Witcher 3 is getting a third expansion, and it is called Songs of the Past. Now, The Witcher 3 already had two absolutely legendary DLCs in the names of Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine. So the fact that CD Projekt Red is still coming back to this world and game after all this time is honestly kind of wild. The game originally dropped back in 2015, and here we are in 2026, and we're still getting content for it. Honestly, it is nice to see that CDPR, or rather, is it CDPR? Yeah, CD Projekt Red has been one of the only few studios that seems to support their single-player games long-term, which is honestly a good thing, and it shows that, single-player games are sustainable as a source of income. And just because online games make a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that every studio needs to jump into releasing online multi-platform games like Fortnite. So yeah, kudos to CD Projekt Red. Alright, so IO Interactive, the people behind the Hitman series, have just released their James Bond game called 007 First Light, and the first reviews and reactions are starting to come in. Now, IO Interactive knows how to do the whole cinematic stealth assassin fantasy, so a Bond game made by them honestly made a lot of sense on paper. Now, the early buzz surrounding the game, or rather the game release, is actually giving us an idea of whether they actually managed to pull it off. And according to the reviews that I've been seeing online, it is a pretty decent game. So kudos to IO Interactive for making a good 007 game. And in more news, we can see that Riot Games pushed out an update, or rather an anti-cheat update for Valorant that, in quotes here, soft-bricked hardware that was specifically designed for cheating. Now, Riot's official account went on social media and actually started trolling the cheaters. Now, what do I think about cheaters? They honestly ruin online games, so I kinda don't feel sorry for them. But at the same time, I have to ask myself, or that we have to ask ourselves, is this ethical? Breaking hardware? Maybe it's in the TOS of playing Valorant. I don't know. Do you know? If you do know, drop it down in the comments section and I'll be sure to reply to you what I think. And in more news, we can see that according to an insider, Call of Duty is coming back to Nintendo, and this is specifically Modern Warfare 4, which is supposedly launching on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, Call of Duty hasn't been on Nintendo for like 13 years, so it will be a pretty massive deal, not a pretty big massive deal, that lines up with what Microsoft has been wanting, or rather saying about wanting to bring their games to more platforms, and with the Switch 2 actually becoming, or rather coming or shipping with, crazy muscle for a handheld console. Well, it was only a matter of time for us to start seeing, a couple of AAA games launching on the platform. So kudos to Call of Duty, Microsoft. I don't know. Are you a Switch player? I'm not a Switch player personally, so I honestly don't know how to respond to this news, but I guess the more the merrier. And moving on to other news, we can see that the Steam Deck OLED is officially back in stock, but Valve has brought it back with a pretty significant price increase, which they're blaming on the rising memory and storage cost. And what can I say? The jump is honestly very, very, very significant because the 1TB model costs $949, and originally it used to cost $649, and we are talking about a $300 price jump, almost a 50% price increase. And Valve, of course, came out saying that basically the global supply chain problems and the world in general has caught up to them. So it's honestly kind of I don't know, it's kind of iffy. Although the future for gaming hardware is looking kind of iffy if this memory shortage crisis continues. Anyways, moving on to our final story of the day, we can see that Take-Two has officially reaffirmed that GTA 6 is still on track for a November 19th, 2026 launch. This comes after a lot of people online was spiraling with delay anxiety, and Take-Two basically came out and said, "Yay, relax, we're good." They also mentioned that marketing is ramping up this summer and that pre-order details are coming. So the machine is starting to move over at Rockstar, which means that it is actually genuine that this game will launch in November. So all of you who couldn't wait for GTA 6 to launch, I guess it's time for you to celebrate. Honestly, I don't know what to think about the whole hype train. For me, I'll still wait until the game is available on PC for me to play it. And yeah, that's it for today's WWG news. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Follow me if you're watching this on TikTok and Instagram. And of course, share this video widely with your fellow Kenyan gamers, African gamers, anyone else who's interested in gaming news. And don't forget to sign up to watugaming.site, where you can stay plugged in all week long to our other episodes, although you can be notified. And of course, join the Watu Gaming Discord, which you will also find on the website. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say other than I should catch you in the next episode.